Okay. So this is a hand that I played that I think that I made some mistakes in, and I'm gonna let Yurik pick apart my flaws, and you know, shine some light on this kind of situation. So opponent opens from the cutoff, folds to us in the small, and we three bet. Now, opponent reads are very important, and I think that it's one of the reasons why I think that three betting is bad. Now, opponent is very, very aggressive. He's playing a 74-42. Doesn't really like to fold post flop, and is willing to jam practically any combo draw. So I think that mainly one reason why this could be bad, and I think that Europe would agree, is we set ourselves up with a pretty awkward SPR post flop. The fact that we're not 100 big blinds means that we're likely going to have to play at least a flop. And it's just going to be awkward for us to play on later streets when we don't flop something strong. Anytime that you put yourself in a situation like that, it makes it very difficult to play. Now, peeling is also awkward as well because we invite the big blind to come along. So we're going to be stuck in that poor section of the relative position triangle, if you will. So, Yerk, do you advocate folding in this kind of situation, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think the options are either folding or flatting, depending who's the big blind, how likely he's going to come along or squeezing. We can make our decision. But the reasons, to expand on that, why the three bet is bad out of position, that even though our opponent seems to be a maniac and has a very wide range, he's not willing to give up post flops. So we don't make money like we talked about in earlier hands from him folding to c-bets or to double barrels. When we can't count on that, that's where we said most of our profits come from. We have to basically rely on making hands. And our hand isn't bad, but it has two gaps. It is 3 of 1 suit, so it's more or less in the mediocre section of hands. And in position, I could still justify a 3-bet, but being out of position, we have to act first. He will be able to peel us with a very wide range on all the dynamic boards. And we just don't really know where we're at, and we won't be able to stack off profitably on most boards. So that makes it very problematic to 3-bet that type of hand out of position, even against a maniac.
Right. Does it change, or would your opinion change if he opened from the button instead of from the cutoff?
No, not at all, because it's not really about his range wides, like how even if he has 50-60% range here at that point, it doesn't really matter because he will still find reasons to call or raise on a variety of different flops.
Right. It's more a function of what our what the SPR is going to be like post flop, and how we're going to be able to make money.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So, surprise, surprise, he decides to peel our 3-bet. We flop top pair and a backdoor flush draw on an 8-7 deuce two-tone. And c-bet 64. Is there anything, would you ever check jam here, or check call, or as played, of course, we don't like the 3-bet, but as played, how do you think the best way to approach this is?
Well, we see that the SPR is above 5 before we start betting, so we are not able to get stacks in on 2 streets. And with the descriptions you gave, when we look at that board, we just have a bare top pair with a backdoor flush draw and some overcards, but nothing that we are really thrilled about. And I would say none of our options are really profitable. When we start to check call, then we may make incorrect folds on later streets when he just continues betting. If we check jam, we can get it in really, really bad shape against a lot of different types of hands.
Right.
And so I would basically say that the least bad option that we have is to just bet fold here, because guaranteed that he has such a wide range, he will miss this board some of the time, and the best we can do is just maintain the initiative betting here, hoping that he folds basically, and for the time he calls, evaluate on later streets whether it's a good card or a bad card to continue barreling. Cool. I would, for example, say that I would not continue barreling on any straight completing card,
Yeah.
but I would probably double barrel on the flush completing cards. And obviously, when we make two pairs or on a low blank, we can also continue betting for value.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think actually that's a really good point about barreling the flush completing cards. One reason that in these types of situations that barreling on flush completing cards is so good is because most people jam their flush draws. If they have something else to go with it, of course. Like you do see a lot of people like maybe they'll peel just like a naked king high flush draw or something like that. But if they have a pair with their flush draw, they like almost always jam. So when they just peel, it's typically a lot of like pair and side cards or like naked straight draws. So what it's like an amazing spot to barrel when the turn's a club. And I see a lot of like beginning players get scared when the turn completes the flush, but actually skilled players recognize that it's a great barreling spot and they continue their aggression.
Exactly. Since a flushing turn always changes the board texture to be now being static, and in contrast, when the straight completes, the board is still dynamic. Since the flush draw is still live, there may be over straight draws and everything. So his continuing range will be much wider when the straight card comes. Then, while on the flushing completing card, a lot of his straight draws now become air, and he's going to fold it to a turn bet. So it's we have much more fold equity.
Exactly. Good stuff. As played, we do bet 64, like I said. He jams, and we fold. And I think that, at the time I thought that I was making a mistake by folding and that the whole hand was just kind of played poorly. But, post-flop, I guess wasn't so bad. Pre-flop's pretty bad. I mean, in general, like if you have something marginal, once you get deeper, you're just lighting money on fire by building big pots out of position with hands that aren't that strong, and that's basically what the case was here.
Yep.
Cool. I think I'm ready to move on to the next one. What about you?
Yeah, let's check out the next one.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Casino Crime here. Now, if you like this video and you want more, then go ahead and click the subscribe button below right now. And if you want to join me for more of my 6 max success secrets and free video tutorials, just click the link to the right. See you inside the trainings. Good luck.